Hey guys, this is a short video on my RepRap 3D printer. Now, I'm a little bit premature. At the moment all I've got is a box of plastic bits. Alright. These here comprise the initial components that you require to create the framework which holds or encompasses the printer itself. These two parts here are referred to as the feet. These small protrusions coming off the bottom are actually the parts that the whole assembly rests upon. As you can see, there's various holes in the components. These are to facilitate the assembly of the printer, as threaded rod will pass through these holes, joining all 6 items together in a fashion sort of like that. If you know, basically, threaded rod will pass through these holes, joining these 3 parts together to form a triangle or a vertex, and then the next 3 components are joined in a similar fashion with more threaded rod, and then the whole lot is locked together. The reason for this video is just to say, you know, this is the start of the project. I got these components for the cost of the shipping alone from a chap in Australia. Excuse me. JB from Oz. Hey JB. Cheers for all the assistance in supplying these parts to me. I'm quite satisfied with what I've received. I'm a little bit overcritical possibly at times, but I try not to be. These parts seem to be, you know, more than adequate for their intended purposes. It's quite strong, you know. You'd have to really sort of strain to break that, I think. As the rest of the viewers might be able to see, the layers which have been extruded through the nozzle are visible, but the quality in general of these 6 components anyway are quite good. There's bits that's rough, you know, there's a sharp edge there for instance, but a little tickle with a sand, bit of some sandpaper or a grinder will resolve that. Now, I'd have been quite happy with these parts alone, but GB has kindly donated all of this as well. Now, as you can see, 3D printers are capable of some quite complex components. These gaps here are not defects, they're actually intentional. So while the accuracy of the component isn't as precise as, say, a component that would have been machined in a workshop, they're still pretty good, you know. Now, this is for home use. It's not an industrial design that I'm going to be working from. I'm planning on doing the Prusa Mendel. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll update you as the build progresses. I've watched various other people doing similar videos, so there'll be nothing new in this to the people that know about 3D printers, but if you've stumbled on it, then you might, you know, be interested in watching the video. What else would you be interested in knowing, The chap JB that I got these parts from, I haven't actually spoken to him in length or to any or for any length of time, but I'm assuming that these are components which are maybe not quite up to his standard for his own printer, or possibly for a customer. He seems to have printed a lot of parts in a lot of different colours. Now these printers can only print one colour at a time, so that means that each time you see a different colour here, it's been printed from a different roll of filament. So what I think is the case is that some of these components were printed as a batch and they may not have been, you know, perfect or certainly good enough to sell, so he's set them aside as they are usable, and he's got a box of these spares now available, and he's just sort of decided to get rid of them. I paid 20 quid for the whole lot, you know, so that's quite a good deal really. Ultimately it's only a box of plastic parts, but I know that the filament itself is about 50 quid a roll, so I'm satisfied with what I've got. Yes, bless me. So yeah, this filament is actually a clear filament. I don't know if the camera will show it, but with the naked eye you can actually see into the plastic and see all the individual lines of filament that have been extruded to form that shape. Then we've got a silver coloured filament, yellow, red, purple, white, lighter purple, black, and I know that there's other colours available: orange, blue, green. Quite likely that any colour of the rainbow could be printed if you so wished. Right, so as you can see, I haven't really started or begun the project yet. I've got to get the threaded rod, and hopefully once I've got that, I'll get the initial framework assembled, and then it'll be a case of, you know, what will dictate the progress of the project will be time and money. I've got none of the electronics. That's going to be one of the most expensive parts. I'm going to try and attempt to do the build for under £300. I know that the electronics are going to cost me in the region of 100 to 150 quid. Then the motors are going to cost me another £80 possibly. So already I'm up over the £200 mark. And but I'm hoping to scavenge things like a power supply from an old computer and do the soldering and things like that myself. Possibly scavenge the electrical connectors and wiring from old computers or old printers. I've got a small lathe and a drill press and a few other workshop items which I can use to maybe manufacture or refurbish parts which are requiring a little bit of maintenance, which could then be used in this printer. So yeah, that's about all really. Oh aye, yeah, so this lad JB, he posted this box to me. It cost him 37 Australian dollars. I paid 20 quid for it. And then he was good enough then to post another bag of parts to me at his own cost, which cost him another $17.20. So he's been really generous. This is referred to as the herringbone gear set, as you can see from the end of the gear pattern is a sort of herringbone design. Don't know if that's the actual proper term for it, but it'll do for now. This serves the same function as these standard gears, and that's simply to drive the hobbed bolt, which in turn feeds the filament into the heated, or what is referred to as the hot end. The filament comes in here and it's heated in this chamber and is extruded through this nozzle onto your bed. As you can see, the herringbone gear is almost double the thickness of the standard gear, and this one particularly is of a much better quality than the standard ones that I received. I got two, although I only require one, and while they transmit energy satisfactorily, they're a little bit rough possibly, but you know, they do fulfill their intended purpose, and that's to transmit motion. It's a little bit rough, you can possibly hear it there, and if you know, at a glance they look okay, but if you look closely at them, there is some deformation over the gear teeth, and if you look at them in that orientation, the tops of the teeth are very irregular, you know, so especially on the side which would have been on the hot bed, or the bottoms of the teeth have melted and sort of splayed out, but that could easily be just touched up with a file or on the lathe possibly, but as I've had this item sent, I'll probably try to use this one. This is from Wade's extruder design. I've got the plans for that also, as well as the Prusa Mendel plans. So I've got all the plastic components I require. I've got all the plans I require. I still need to get the hardware, such as the threaded rod, the smooth rod, some bearings and bushings and such like, nuts and washers, all that sort of miscellaneous parts. And then that would allow me to construct the machine or the printer. However, I would have no method of controlling it at that point. I would still need to invest in the motors and the electronics. So yeah, there's a way to go, and I'm quite looking forward to it actually. It's going to be fun. I don't know a whole lot about electronics. I certainly don't know much about Arduino. I've been following some of the tutorials on the YouTube for Arduino control boards, and that's quite interesting. You know, it's a bit of revision for me. I'd covered some aspects of it when I was in college, but that was quite a few years ago now. Yeah, you know, it's something that's I'm enjoying, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's about it. Hopefully I'll be able to start printing out stuff. Well, I don't plan on rushing this project. I'm just going to do it as and when I feel like it, to be honest with you. I've got other things on at the moment, and there's always, you know, work and life commitments that get in the way of things like this. But if I can get the printer built for, say, this is April now, so if I can get the printer built for August, September time, then I can start messing around in the winter months like this. I don't intend on being stuck indoors over the summer doing this, so yeah, just play it by ear, folks, and I'll update you as and when I do or make any progress with it. So I guess that's all I have to say for now, but thanks again JB. You've given me a really good start on this project and it's much appreciated. So, Gurang Gudud, and hope the sun shines on you, mate, eh? Right, that's all for now, folks. Cheerio.